Born in Chaos is a mod that adds new aggressive mobs with their own characteristics. It also adds a new boss, weapons and armor, decorative blocks, as well as new structures. With Born in Chaos, you will once again have a sense of fear of going out at night and exploring the dark caves, because now there will be dangers everywhere. So, let's begin. Monsters in this mod are classified into types such as undead, spirits, arthropods, and monsters without a special type. We'll look at the undead monster category to begin with. The decrepit skeleton is a decrepit version of a normal skeleton. It can only attack with melee. It does not differ in any special properties and is one of the weaker opponents in the mod. The skeleton Demoman is similar to the decrepit skeleton, however it does not burn in the sun, and when health drops to a certain limit, it starts detonating before an explosion. The decaying zombie behaves like a normal zombie. This mob's attacks inflict hunger and rotten stink on the victim. When the zombie is low on health, its flesh falls off, revealing a decrepit skeleton. The baby skeleton runs pretty fast but doesn't pose much of a threat on its own. It often serves as a servant of more powerful monsters. The Bone Imp is an enhanced version of the baby skeleton, found primarily in the Nether, and is immune to fire. The Siamese skeletons in many ways are similar to the baby skeleton, but at less than half health they are divided into two separate skeletons. It drops fused bone upon death. The barrel zombie is found primarily near water bodies. Unlike ordinary zombies, it does not drown and also has protection from the sun. It has increased armor. A wide variety of items can fall out of this monster, as well as extremely rare and valuable things. The Door Knight is a zombie that uses everything that comes to hand as its equipment. The monster has protection from sunlight, increased armor, and is also able to block your attacks, which will be accompanied by a special sound. To deprive the mob of the ability to block attacks, you need to set it on fire or attack it with an axe. The zombie clown is a slow and rather dense enemy. Attacking it smashes an intoxicating brew on the enemy, which slows down the victim and also causes short-term poisoning and dizziness. The zombie fisherman appears near bodies of water. It does not burn in the sun, hiding behind a hat, and it attacks the players with rotten flesh, causing a long-lasting rotten stink effect. It has the highest chance of summoning maggots after death. The zombie lumberjack in many ways is similar to the regular zombie, but is armed with a special axe that can instantly break a vanilla wooden shield and has high damage. After death, it has a chance to drop its axe. The Swarmer is a zombie infected with flies, becoming a living nest for them. It no longer burns in the sun. This zombie's attacks cause hunger and rotten stink, and when receiving damage, it periodically summons a corpse fly. After death, it explodes, releasing a swarm of flies, maggots, and sometimes bloody gadflies. The zombie bruiser is a dangerous type of zombie with a decent amount of health and also quite agile for its size. Its attack knocks the player back and briefly stuns them. The skeleton thrasher is a formidable but slow enemy. It has increased armor and can block the player's attacks like the Door Knight. To deprive this mob of the ability to block attacks, you need to set it on fire or attack with an axe. Skeleton attacks, in addition to high damage, strongly repel the enemy and briefly stun, making it impossible to move and attack. The Spirit Guide is found in dry and hot biomes. It does not burn in the sun due to the hat. The monster's attacks impose the effect of magic depletion, and during battle it can also call on its helpers. It is both an undead and a spirit mob at the same time. The Bones Caller skeleton uses a magic staff as a weapon, attacking from a distance and trying to keep the player away. During battle it can call on several baby skeletons to help. You can disable a skeleton's ability to summon minions by setting it on fire or applying a magical drain effect to it. The Supreme Bone Caller is a mini-boss with abilities similar to the regular Bones Caller, however it is surrounded by a bone shield that protects it from ranged weapons, and instead of baby skeletons, it calls bone imps to help. After the shield is destroyed, it becomes vulnerable to ranged weapons, but stronger and summons more minions. It is found at the top of the Dark Tower. The Fallen Chaos Knight, despite its notably shabby body, remains an extremely dangerous adversary. It has high armor, high movement speed, and protection from arrows and sunlight. Additionally, it places a cursed mark on the attacked victim. When the mark expires, up to 4 Scarlet Persecutors will spawn around the cursed. Spirits are a new type of mob. Most spirits disappear in direct sunlight. Spirits now include mobs such as Blaze, Gas, Phantom, Vex, and Alley. The Restless Spirit is a flying spirit. Each attack of this mob shackles and slows down the movement of the victim. When exposed to direct sunlight, the spirit will disappear. The Phantom Creeper behaves completely like a usual creeper. However, if you hit it, it will immediately split into 2 copies of itself. The monster cannot divide into copies more than once. You can meet it in the Warped Forest and in the end. The Pumpkin Spirit is a neutral mob that can be found on a small farm, like an Iron Golem. It attacks all monsters defending the territory. It is extremely vulnerable to fire. As soon as it comes into contact with fire, it will be corrupted by the spirit of the flame, turning into a seared spirit. You can make your own scarecrow by building a structure out of 2 dark oak logs, a block of hay, and a carved pumpkin, then right-clicking on the pumpkin with the ethereal spirit item. This seared spirit is a scarecrow on fire. Aggressive towards the player, its attacks set the victim on fire. The monster takes damage while in water or rain and is immune to fire damage. You can heal it by right-clicking with a transmutating elixir in your hand, which will turn it into an infernal spirit. The Dark Vortex is a spirit that disappears under the sun's rays. It shoots a magical projectile that blinds the player and is capable of reflecting projectiles flying at it. After death, it can drop a dark rod, necessary for crafting a bone handle. The Scarlet Prosecutors come to those who are marked with the Cursed Mark. They chase the player at a great distance of 150 blocks, able to fly and make sharp attacks towards the player. Spirits only appear when the Cursed Mark expires. If you have been cursed, try to hide in a narrow space so the spirits cannot appear. The Nightmare Stalker is an extremely dangerous spirit that appears starting from the 3rd night of the game. This gives the player time to prepare for the encounter. The Stalker's spawn is accompanied by a characteristic sound and a message in the chat. It appears completely invisible with only 2 glowing eyes visible. While in invisibility, it moves much faster, and when it receives damage, it loses invisibility. The Nightmare Stalker notices the player from a great distance of up to 70 blocks, immediately starting to stalk its victim. When attacking a victim, the Stalker produces a piercing scream and casts a gaze of terror on it. This effect causes blindness in the target, plunging them into complete darkness, and gradually steals vital forces, thereby healing the Stalker. While under the effect of Gaze of Terror, you will also be unable to use some magic items. The longer you survive in the world, the stronger the Stalker becomes, gaining maximum strength starting from day 100. The Missionary is a mini-boss spirit that appears only starting from the 10th day of the game, always accompanied by 2 zombie villagers. It fights by firing magical projectiles at the player, and when it hits a target, it summons an evocation fang under the victim's feet. At the beginning of the battle, it can cause rain. When receiving damage, it periodically teleports, and after a couple of seconds, summons random undead. The ability to teleport and summon can be blocked by the effect of magic depletion or attacks from the Nightmare Scythe. It can drop random charms after death. Mr. Pumpkin is a rather slow and weak spirit that appears naturally only from October 25th to November 5th, and also comes to the aid of Sir Pumpkinhead during the battle. Sir Pumpkinhead is a mini-boss that appears in your world only from October 25th to November 5th in honor of Halloween, or you can summon him by destroying a special pumpkin surrounded by candles that you can meet in the world. The boss has 3 main phases. In the first, he rides on his horse, attacking you in melee, inflicting a bundle of the soul. This effect slows you down and deals damage after expiration, periodically teleporting and calling on Mr. Pumpkin. In the second, the Pumpkinhead separates from the horse while the horse attacks you in the vicinity, pushing away from the owner. The rider himself shoots at you with explosive pumpkins, still teleporting and calling for Pumpkin. In the third, the boss detaches his head from the body. While the body fights you with a soul bundle, the head shoots and teleports. Your final target is the head. As a reward, you will receive a guaranteed pumpkin staff, and you can also get holiday sweets, a soul saber with random enchantments, and a new unique music disc. Lord Pumpkinhead is a strengthened version of Sir Pumpkinhead and a full-fledged boss. To summon it, right-click on the Infernal Evil Pumpkin using Transmutating Elixir. Lord Pumpkinhead is a late-game boss and requires maximum equipment or good resourcefulness to fight. Like the regular version, it has 3 stages. The first stage is on horseback. Each attack of the Lord in the first stage causes the effect of soul stratification. This slows you down while active, and at the end of the action deals damage and removes all other effects. An Infernal Flame, which is a new effect where you burn from the inside, receiving 3 units of damage every 2 seconds. Fire cannot be put out with water, but will not deal damage if you are protected from fire. When Pumpkinhead's health drops below half, his attacks will inflict the Living Bomb curse instead of Soul Stratification. The Living Bomb effect works similarly to Soul Stratification, but explodes you at the end of the action. During the first stage, the Lord will periodically teleport in a random direction, leaving behind 2 Senior Pumpkins, which are a strengthened version of Mr. Pumpkin, or a pumpkin bomb that will explode in a second, causing the effect of infernal fire on everyone around. In the second stage, Lord Pumpkinhead dismounts from his horse and goes into ranged combat. Shooting from his pistol, the horse will attack you at close range, pushing you away and stunning you with each attack. Pumpkinhead's shots will set the target on fire with Infernal Fire. The Lord will still be able to teleport in a random direction, leaving behind Senior Pumpkin and Pumpkin Bombs. In the third stage, his head disconnects from his body, continuing to shoot you at a faster rate, while his body attacks you at close range, causing the same attack effects as in the first stage. The head will constantly teleport, leaving behind Pumpkin Bombs. By killing the head, you win the fight. As a reward, you will receive Soulbane, Pumpkin Pistol, Magical Holiday Candy, and with a 50% chance, Lord Pumpkinhead's Lamp. Now for the other mobs, such as arthropods in the mod. The Corpse Maggot does not spawn naturally, and now appears when zombies die, both vanilla and from the mod. The chance and number of maggots that appear when a zombie dies depends on the type of zombie. The maggots themselves are quite weak and slow, but can take you by surprise. The Corpsefly is a rather weak mob, but it can overwhelm you with its numbers. It appears in any overworld biome. Despite having wings, it is not able to fly above a block, but is able to soar. In addition to attacking the player, it attacks the decaying zombie. Hitting a zombie infects it, and if it is not killed, it will turn into a swarmer. The Bloody Gadfly is in many ways similar to a Corpsefly, but much stronger. It appears near bodies of water. Its attack inflicts myiasis on the player, a new effect in which the player will receive a periodic damage until their health level is below 17 units. At the end of the attack, the maggot will disappear from the player. You can get rid of the effect by entering the water. The Firelight is a fiery arthropod found in the Nether and near firewells. The bite of this bug sets the victim on fire, and the mob itself is immune to fire. Firelight intentionally attacks pumpkin spirits to corrupt it, and sets the ground on fire at the place of its death. The Diamond Termite now appears in your world in addition to the usual diamond ore. You can come across infected ones, and once you destroy it, termites will come out of the nearest ore. Termites have increased armor, and their bites inflict fatigue. The appearance of infected diamonds can be disabled when creating a world. The Thornshell Crab is a neutral animal that spawns in coastal biomes. It has a high defense and will inflict retaliatory damage to anyone who hits it, regardless of whether it is a close or ranged fight. This crab is a scavenger, and you can feed it rotten fish or rotten flesh. In return, you will receive bone meal and sometimes a spiny shell. The corpse fish is an aggressive fish that will appear in all aquatic biomes. By itself, it is not very strong, but a school of such fish can pose a great threat. With their high swimming speed, it will be quite difficult to swim away from them. In addition to attacking the player, they also attack the drowned. The glutton fish is a huge fish that can be found in all types of oceans. It attacks almost everyone it encounters in the water except for certain aggressive mobs. Its attacks break bones and cause high damage, making meeting this fish without armor critical. You can make the battle easier by blocking its attack with a shield, after which the fish will be temporarily disoriented, giving you the opportunity to attack. The Dreadhound appears in small flocks. They hunt most types of skeletons and are aggressive towards players. However, if you have not attacked them, the hounds can be appeased by giving them a bone. The appeased hound will not attack you until a certain time has passed. If you hit it, it will start attacking you again. You can also meet hounds in small packs in the desert near gnawed bones, which do not disappear until you kill them. The dire hound leader is rare in the world and is always accompanied by 2 dire hounds. They hunt most types of skeletons and are also aggressive towards the player. However, like normal hounds, even he can be appeased with a bone if he's not attacked. His attacks grind bones and give the bone break effect, which slows and weakens the target and disappears when there is regeneration effect. During combat, he periodically summons dire hounds and drops fangs to create a couple of new items. Now for the items. You can now smoke rotten flesh in the smokehouse. Such rotten flesh will not inflict hunger when eaten. The ability to use rotten flesh as compost has also been added. Bottle of Magical Energy is a special drink that allows you to remove the effect of weakness and magic depletion from yourself. Dark Metal is a new resource obtained mainly in small pieces from new mobs or in treasure chests as loot. To make an ingot, you need to smelt a pile of dark metal in a smelting furnace. It is used to create new weapons and to enhance netherite armor. Fell Lamp drops with a 30% chance from Sir Pumpkinhead. It allows you to summon the Fell Steed by right-clicking on a block. You can ride a Fell Steed and increase its movement speed by feeding it Ethereal Spirit. The Fell Steed can always be returned to the lamp by pressing Shift right-click with an empty lamp in your hands. Monster Flesh is a new source of food that poisons when eaten, but no longer causes negative effects when smoked. It leaves a bone after being eaten. Also, the flesh of the monster can be used as a weak but infinite weapon. Glutton Fish Eye can be eaten at any time to completely restore your oxygen level. It can also be used to prepare a long-lasting potion of water breathing for 8 minutes. To get its contents, Glutton Fish Stomach can be ripped open by pressing right mouse button while holding it in your hand to get its contents. Sometimes there are quite valuable things in there. River Mint is a new plant that grows near water bodies. Mint Candy can be eaten at any time to remove the rotten stink effect and hunger. Mint Ice Cream can be eaten to extinguish yourself from burning, including from infernal fire. Potion of Rampage is an expensive potion to create that grants a Rampage effect. Each repeated use of the Rampage effect increases it up to 5 times. In combination with the Reaper's Axe, you can bring yourself to the 5th level of Rampage, thereby extending the maximum duration with just one potion. Transmutating Elixir is a difficult to create item that allows you to transform specific mobs and blocks into something else by right-clicking on the target. The main use is to transform the Evil Infernal Pumpkin into Lord Pumpkinhead. The elixir also has many other uses, but the most useful of them are transforming an iron block into a dark metal block, a block of raw gold into ancient debris, and an amethyst block into a diamond block. You can also use it to turn the Scorched Spirit into an Infernal Spirit, which will return control to itself and make it stronger and protect it from fire. There are also a couple of new blocks in the mod. There are new types of bone blocks. Black Argillite is a new rock that spawns at a depth of 17 to minus 17 height, and it is used to create many decorative blocks. Colored Stained Glass is a new type of stained glass available in various colors. Scorched Log is a new type of wood created by combining any standard logs and firelight dust. Planks can be made brittle by right-clicking them with an axe, causing the boards to break when stepped on. Now for the weapons. The Staff of Magic Arrows is a fairly simple magic staff that does not require ammunition and shoots magic arrows. It has an average damage rate and good knockback, and can also be used as a weak melee weapon. The staff can also be used in an offhand, allowing you to fight up close and shoot from a distance simultaneously. The Bones Caller Staff allows you to summon 2 baby skeletons by right-clicking on a block. The skeletons will uncontrollably attack all monsters they see and disappear after 1 minute. After using the staff, the effect of magical exhaustion will be imposed on you, preventing you from using the summon again until the magical exhaustion passes. The Pumpkin Staff requires pumpkin seeds for shooting and has a 35% chance of not wasting seeds when shooting. It shoots pumpkins that explode when they hit an enemy. When it hits a block, it calls for Mr. Pumpkin to help you. Mr. Pumpkin is a slow companion that can deprive monsters of using some magical abilities, thereby preventing them from blocking. The pumpkin will disappear in 2 minutes. You will not be able to summon Mr. Pumpkin while you have Magic Drain. The staff can only be obtained by killing Sir Pumpkinhead. The Pumpkin Pistol requires pumpkin seeds for shooting. Hitting a projectile from this weapon will cause a small explosion and apply the infernal fire effect to its target. Wearing a full set of Nightmare Armour reduces the cooldown and increases the duration of the ignition. The Intoxicating Bomb is a throwing explosive projectile. The explosion does not destroy blocks, but can destroy loot. A direct hit on the target will inflict the effect of intoxication on it. The Death Totem is similar to the Totem of Immortality. It saves you from lethal damage, while quickly healing you and granting you temporary strength. However, it almost completely deprives you of your hunger and saturation and imposes the effect of magical exhaustion. While you are affected by magical exhaustion, the Death Totem will not work. The Nightmare Scythe is a melee weapon with a low attack speed. Each attack with this weapon functions like a Nightmare Stalker attack, inflicting blind, magic drain, and wither on the target while healing the wearer. It is extremely effective against Bones Caller as it prevents him from summoning minions. The Great Reaper Axe is a battle axe that, upon killing the opponent, triggers a short-term rampage, increasing your speed and damage. Each consecutive kill during the rampage extends the effect, and upon reaching the maximum level of rampage, subsequent kills will further extend the effect and slightly heal you. The Dark Ritual Dagger is a fast melee weapon. By pressing right mouse button, you can sacrifice a summoned minion or animals such as sheep, pigs, cows, and chickens, which will heal you. The strength of the healing depends on the type of victim. The Intoxicating Dagger inflicts intoxicating poison on the enemy, which slows down the target, causes short-term poisoning, and induces nausea. It is ineffective against undead. The Soul Saber imposes a special soul stratification effect on the victim, which slows the target and, upon completion, deals damage based on the victim's current health. The higher the health, the higher the damage. It also dispels all other effects from the target. Soulbane is a powerful weapon whose attacks apply the effect of soul stratification and infernal fire. Wearing a full set of Nightmare Armour reduces the time between soul cleave effect. The Skullbreaker Hammer is a heavy hammer that, with each successful attack, while jumping or in the air, pushes the opponent away and briefly stuns them. The Dark Warblade is a heavy two-handed sword that can only be used while under the effect of strength. Otherwise, you will be slowed and weakened. It deals high damage and also applies a bone-breaking effect on the victim. Sword attacks remove the regeneration effect from the target and prevent attacks from mobs such as Door Knight and Skeleton Thrasher from blocking attacks. The Sharpened Dark Metal Sword has increased damage against undead. The Spiritual Sword has increased damage against spirits. The Hay Fork, rarely dropped by the Door Knight, has no special properties but has a special type of attack with the Better Combat mod. The Hound Trap is a trap that deals high damage to anyone who steps on it, immobilizes the target for a short time, and inflicts a bone fracture effect. The trap deals half damage to players, but increased damage to undead and animals. The Hound Trap can be pre-activated by throwing any item at it, in which case the item will be destroyed, or by hitting it with a projectile. The Spiny Shell Trap is a new type of trap that can be placed on land or underwater. It deals periodic damage to anyone who steps on it, similar to cactus spines, so entities protected from this type of damage will not be harmed by the trap. The spikes also slow down the target and prevent them from jumping out. The Shell Mace deals increased damage to the target if both the target and the wielder are in water or rain. The damage dealt is pure and is not reduced by armor. Now we'll look at the armors in the mod. Spiny Shell Armour is a type of armour consisting of a helmet and breastplate. When wearing one piece, the retaliatory damage is 2, when wearing a full set, it is 4. The armour combines with the Thorns enchantment, increasing retaliatory damage up to 10 when both pieces are enchanted. Additionally, with the full set, you do not take damage from the Spiny Shell Trap or retaliatory strikes from the Thorn Shell Crab. Nightmare Armour is a type of armour created from monster skin, dark metal, and the skull of a nightmare stalker. The mask grants increased movement speed in the dark, and wearing a full set grants a bunch of bonuses to all dark and magical items and weapons. Dark metal armour is crafted by combining netherite armour and armour plates from dark metal. For version 1.20.1, you also need the blacksmithing template of the dark metal upgrade on a forge table. In addition to increased stats, wearing a full set of this armour grants immunity to withering and triggers a rampage when your health is low. That will do it for Born in Chaos. It's available to download in the description. Thank you for watching, and take care.